Y'all said, oh, y'all good. Hello, anywho, everyone, any person, y'all good. And pie, right there, 258, he knew it, when you're when you're in your new Milky Way pie, your shadow body works by, the shadow body, you gain a sword from one of the Shalom's, Hebrew sons, and right there, pie, I saw 2 hours of him in the Thai Dragon sector, the space junkyard Thai sector that's been quarantined, the space country that's been quarantined because white invaders are there. 2 fucking hours. You entered and you saw him. Biggest fight scene between Pi and Shalon. Yeah, that's true. Pi survived, but him is not generic. Yeah, he's not generic. And his people were not generic Persians up there. They kept cutting Pi. Pi kept healing. Pi played dumb because Pi knew it. If Pi was to use Pi's ultimate stance, the god metal that you reprinted Pi is not hard enough. And then, your skin will not heal on time and you'll die. Pi, that's true. 3 hours, Pi. The metal conductivity, brain electricity like surpass. Green and blue, you pass, Pi. But 9 hours, he says, why can't you use one? Can't. Because I'm not white? Yeah, Pi's not white nation. Pi theft that straight from the mom and dad that had dies a long time ago. And then 3 hours later, the fucking shit committed suicide right there in the Middle East. And I've told you the equation. There's no way. I'll show you how to boot that into rare human gods. 4 fucking hours. Your experiments you passed by. 3 nights later, people knew it. Without electricity, you cannot synthesize in 3D space. That's true. It is the most graphic scene pie. And then, your shadow body mode, carries the 2 swords, the red swords you won from one of Shalom's sons, and the right there pie. When he gave it to you, he's scared straight. Yeah, y'all. The final blows to you looks awful, pie. Yeah, he cut you up real bad. You shouted. You said, "Sure, my real Godspeed." And boom, you cut him up about 8 times. Yep. And then he said, "Sure," and he left you alone. And your metal on the right arm is melting, and right there, you flew back to heal, and the right there. Immediately, you went to check up on your robot, and you healed. You re-inject the metal, and then right there, you gain. Several months later, you found him and his son gave you the sword. That's true, yeah. Because you went through so much butt kicking, you're the only one. The decks, the speed matches. At 2 fucking hours, they knew it. King Cobra, four-headed pie, won. The idiot lies to you, pie, because he's not allowed in Thai Dragon Sector. Your spirits are on Mars, and then you give them coordinates. Yeah, they fly, but they can only stay there in their UFO, and they can live there. But afterwards, Pi, you're healthy enough to fly out to your saucer, and then 2 fucking hours, Pi, you're back on Mars, and you summon your horn demons. They're the type that have horns, on the side of the ears there, and those ancient horn demons are not talked about by right afterwards. Very graphic, very graphic. It was 2 fucking hours of those types being nailed by their parents, and then right there, by 5 hours that, and then you never told. Yeah, you never told any of your demons. Yeah, only lamb are dangerous. Yeah, head of a lion or a tiger. Yep, dangerous. Those are lamb. 2 hours by left them. Oh, that's true. Yeah, those are very dangerous. It was you, Pi, you survived, and right there in Dragon Sector, you picked up the rest of the human god history there, and the errors, that occurred on Earth that allowed those white gods to enter, and then the space country's been quarantined for further, screening, and also citizens are not talked to, and then them are slowly being butchered by those, white gods, and then soon, Pi, you slowly butcher back, and right there you gain 2 hours of you equipping your sword. Five-sided star fought your shadow body 8 million times in the future. That's true. Yeah, he saw your body summoned by the night and the divine dragons. You redesigned those. You have dragons. They have real cool, bodies and long neck and then, dragonfly eyeballs. That's true. Yeah, Pi, you did it accurately. It was so fucking cool. They knew it. It is Pi's creations. That's true. Yeah, that's true. 3 hours later, they wrote, "You did it with the correct device from your female Google Pi, but you theft it." Yeah, Pi theft it. Yeah, Pi theft it immediately and put it away. Because if you don't put it away, her's gonna get ideas and her's gonna try to make new Viper demons. Pi cannot do that. Have them already made some kind of new cow demon. Those Pi said sure can live with Pi, and Pi's and right afterwards. They're goofy Pi. Yeah, they're humanoid. The head looks like a cow. Yeah, looks like a cow. and then their body looks like a human, and right there, pie, very graphic. Yeah, those are like yeah, cow demons, and right afterwards, those are so brand new pie. They're like 40,000 years, nearly 3,000. Yeah, nearly 3,000 years old to 2025. Very graphic. You run into her, that female ghoul was once a goddess. Her freaking alphabet works, and you took it. Yeah, you took it. Yeah, but I took a chunk of it, and the elixir and pie was using it. 3 fucking days later, you cloned it and you translated the Hmong in English, and then you wrote it down. 4 hours you running through your brain tissue works. Play down pie out, and then be careful with your esophagus pie. If you get cut there, and magic is Na, you need to do it through metal, and then the magic wand and heal your throat pie activate. Yep, it was 4 fucking hours of you protecting your throat. You flying around. 2 ghouls notice pie that you're lying to them. Yet once you boot in, yet you're full level 85. Yep, upgradable in science mode pie. In science skinny elixir mode, boom. You match gods, but 2 hours of you re-rendering. Yep, your molecules and your the sticks and atoms on your skin, and it hurts like hell. Yeah, it hurts like hell, but you get used to it. 2 hours of doing that, boom, you shout, and then it stabilizes your nucleus, and then you can go faster. Like, but 3 hours of that, but look at her fucking brain, her knew it, God, va. Once God again, that's true, yeah. And then 3 hours, your nervous system not reject the molecules, you evolve, and then right there, in that balance mode, pie, you not die, but 9 trillion years, they cut up one of your son, and then your son's a full god, pie, because hers a full, hers a full Hebrew goddess, and right there, you laughed your fucking head off, pie. All pie found in Thai sector was dirty slut Hebrew, Shalams as hookers, and right afterwards, way cool, son, but creepy, yeah, creepy. When he's after you, pie, you're scared to, you're scared to, but he's scared. That's a real human god who's part white and he's part you. But when he's not nice, he flies and he swings, and then pie not want to talk to him yet. Pie fly around, and right there, you're flying up straight forward, and then it's flying around you, and you shout at the answer, and then he leaves. Pie, he leaves. And then pie, you scare me, son. Yeah, go away to your mom. No, we will not be talking to you yet. Several months, and I will be back in the space station within a few years. Yeah, that's true. Pies, it is you. Yeah, it's you. Smart. The idiot. Not. No, don't play with your son, Pie. He is not human. He's asking for something that you cannot provide for him. That's true. 2 hours, Pie, not talk to him. Pie, fly off. And the best devil, Pie, is the best thing is right there in the space station. You figured what his mom device was using to beam his elixir, but his god metal alloy pass. Oh yeah, that's true. Yep, his metal, looks natural and it works. 2 freaking hours of your prototype metal pie you design from real god alphabets. Yep. And it passes, but graphic, too graphic to tell you. Yep, and then the ancient Hebrew slut pie discovered those type of white gods can only fight 9 times, and then the 9th time that kills them. That's true. When they paste together, their metal alloy cannot heal the spinal cord, and then one dies. But that's true. 3 hours, pie, you catch that blonde bitch. Hebrew, don't tell her anything. That's true. Those are her leftover. Yeah, those are her children there in Thai sector, space junkyard, and it's full of those, and Shalom, and very gross, and a bunch of demon hawks and yellow people there flying around. 2 fucking hours by fucking creepy as hell. People not want to talk to you. When the entrance open, you fly fast enough that none dare touch you. But right there in the center, you halted and your bot is scanning the area for contamination ray and polluted ray areas. And boom! 3 hours, you knew immediately why they fly in that direction. And then you follow, you follow the norms. 2 hours, you flying behind those humanoid gods by. Fuck it. Yeah, too fucking graphic to tell people. 3 hours. They notice you're picking up their language, and some are Persian, some are Hebrew, and then some are older. Some are older. Some are older. And then Pi is running around looking for the stupid Sweden Malaysian bitches. And when you run into those bitches, Pi, you knew it. They're part Malay and Sweden right there. Bunch of those, Pi. They knew it. Their mom are harlots, and they made it to one of the King Cobra Malaysian sectors. and they were stuck there in the space junkyard a long time ago. That's true, yeah, a few thousand years ago. But Houston, the fucking funny thing is, 2 hours of you flying around, the police laughed so hard, and then they knew it. Yep, some of their brown hair Sweden women goddess, yep, left the planet and done exactly what Latin gods have done. Yeah, that's true. The light white blonde hair nation, yeah, the white the descent gods and goddess. Right afterwards, like 4 hours of you fucking around in the Thai Dragon sector, pie, you run into those rams. I have. Pie punched them a few times, and Pie wrote, "Get me the one that was talking through me." Yeah, when he shows up, show him the norms around these areas, and then yep, he'll come by and buy the space station. Me and I give a fuck about the Thai gods. Yeah, we both King Cobra. I mean, when Pi verse him dies is a fair state. Yeah, fierce. It's fair. Yeah, it's fair. That's fair. Pi theft illegally. Yeah, that's true. And the right there, buddy. 4 fucking hours of them flying around you. They knew it. You do the hawk stance, and then yep, they not question because technically they're the ones that theft you and allowed you to enter the space station. That's true. And then the criminal charges are Pi has the right to take over the space station. When Grandma and Emperor Hawks are there, Pi is transferred to their country. That's true. Best fight scene, Pi. Very graphic. Yeah, you saw your Hawks. Yep, yeah, tiara. Yep, their tiara and crown. And the Pi's and the fancy swirly things on their forehead, the metal pieces, the gold pieces in 2 hours, Pi, to the ears. 2 hours, Pi. When those demon hawks appear, and then they have two other versions that are not they. Pi, yep, those are the new version generations. Pi not respect because they hate Pi. Yeah, they hate Pi. That's true. 2 hours later, graphic scene by one of those spotted you and reported you to the grandmother, and then one of the hawk talking Hmong through you by nodded. And eventually, 90 trillion years, yep, they picked you up in one of the Dragon Permie stations or Thai Dragon sectors, and right there, you made the transfer accurately and successfully. But 2 hours, you always, yep, when you're pissed off, you fly back to Mars and yep, your white space station, and then 9 hours of you fucking around on Earth, Pi. Because right there, after the wars with Had It and then Five well, Had It and Everything Sun God, yeah, you won 2 fucking hours of Pi fucking flying around Pi's looking for any human survivors. Because the good humans you moved to Mars, Pi, but the evil ones you left them right there on Earth to fry, to melt, and it was 9 fucking hours. The police over there, them melted, them dies, Pi, but da da da. 3 hours of you time traveling, Pi. Was it scary? Those human guys left you alone. That's true. Yeah. The best fight scene was in there, Pi. Shalom, and then you run into real A-siders. Oh, yeah, Persians, father. Yeah, Persian father. Him was nothing but a had it in Allah, y'all, space pirate. Him was there too in Dragon Sector. When you run into that eight-sided star character, he is the real one. Yeah, he is the real one. Yeah, he's the real one. He cut up Pi nearly 8 billion times. Yeah, that's true. Yep. Him is not weak. And Pi, you said when you fought five-sided star there in one of your Space Dragon sectors, Pi, the five-sided star grandpa was not full of it, Pi. Yeah. Him, when versing eight-sided star, it only took him 2 hours and 2 to 3 hours to disembowel eight-sided star. All eight-sided star sons, yep, they flee. Yeah, they flee from him. Yeah, they flee from him. It took him like 2 to 3 hours, and the way he cut up Pi heals, yep, but Pi fought him only in a remote beam body, and right there, Pi, when your knight summoned you, and then you pace together, and then you fight him, Pi, yep, you're in the other star system, but right there, I saw 2 hours. You hit him about 70 trillion times, and he's afraid of you. Yeah, that's true. Yep, that was your fastest speed. 2 hours later, when you keep hitting him, Pi, it went down to about 14. Yeah, 14. Yeah, 14 trillion. And then he knew it. Yep, him became faster. In 2 fucking hours, Pi's out of there. Pi's out of there. Pi, the body kept fighting him, and boom, cut him up about 80 trillion times. And he's not like 8-sided star Pi. He heals faster. His health point is beyond belief. That's true. 8-sided star Pi knew Pi swung 78 trillion times. The offspring dies. Yep. And Pi ran into him in the future. Yep. 8-sided star, the real father from Persia. That's true. Him was in a space pirate owned by the Thai royal gods. And right there, The fucking shit is pure evil. Yeah, it's pure evil. The fucking Cambodian says, that's not 887. I wrote, bullshit, that is him. Yeah, that is him. Yeah, that is him. When you fought him, Pi, your metal and nano shattered his glowing red sword, but 8 hours later, look at what happened. Once you shatter, and he says, there, me done playing War God. And he flies off with his sons. Yeah, that's true. And they're flying in groups because they're more technically stowaway, but them somehow made it into the building, and a bunch of stowaway white gods and goddesses and a bunch of weird other Asians, and you're flying around in 2 fucking hours of that, Pie. People saw how you heal, and you not want to talk. Very graphic. Him knew it. You know you can't beat him. His dex is too fast. That's true. Yep, in the beginning it's too fast. Pi was only near optimized level 7. Yeah, that's true. Yep, optimized level 7. Egyptian speed was not even able to kick his butt yet. And 3 fucking hours, Pi. Your only Egyptian speed is 7. Later on, when had an African sun god passed away, their Egyptian speed level 4 and 3 kicked in, and they wrote, yep, you're pretty similar. Right there, you match. Because you King Cobra level 4 and the 3 African god, and right there, when you're near level 2, him is not nice, Pi. He plays around. He came down, and then it took you about 12 hours, Pi, to figure out how to delete him. Once you cut him open, Pi, you looted the spinal cord, the spinal cord, the brain, and the head area, and then you King Cobra him. You match the real level 2, but then the level 2s that are bending, exercising, and summoning new molecules, they gain new speeds immediately. Yeah, that's true. Immediately, they're about a few trillion times faster. Right there, Pi not one dare. Yeah, Pi not dare. Pi's in it was 4 fucking hours of aliens laughing because they wrote you can bend Pi. Pi wrote yeah, but not yet. Yeah, not yet. My metal's too soft. Yeah. Pi's metal evolves 80 trillion times 7, 80 trillion years into the future times 7. And then that was when your metal, your printed new metal is as hard as real human gods. And then right there, Pi, that's when you can fight again because your skin paste and heal back together fast enough. But right there, when you're beaming emulation Pi from your human, from your human sun god, and then in Hmong it's payment, Yoku, because his nation's not supposed to be there. His mom's not really supposed to be there in the Thai dragon sector. And then 4 hours, Pi. They wrote, Pi broke a law in the white nation. Pi wrote, so what? African Sun God did that to fight Cesar. That was true. 3 fucking hours, they knew it. You match, but you not there running that mode forever. That's true, Every time you summon it, he is submerged in a tank designed by you. He's beaming all his molecules, and the emulation metal appears in your bone DNA, appears in your skin, and it works by it fits your brain. But 9 hours, you heal like a real warrior. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's how Pi defeated Eight-Sided Star. About the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. And that's when he left you alone. He said, fair, go away. And Pi nodded. The dumbass didn't understand. Do not play the intelligent man. Yeah, that's true. Yep, those are pure cutthroat. But they don't have enough dirt on you so that it has not enough dirt on Pi that it will swing to the point where no gods question its dignity and its logic accurate, its thinking skills as an adult. And then if it's deemed evil, if gods found it evil, they would have did another stance on it. That's true. It is the real Eight-Sided Star, and right there, Pi, it is an evil version. I saw when you fought it, Pi, it has physical traits of Eight-Sided Star in the 2 hours. The mom has been identified. It is one of Eight-Sided Star's sons, and Pi said it is a very old evil god, Pi. When you're flying in there, his sons are throughout Thai sector, and then later on in life, Pi, when you went to visit, a bunch of his sons are there, and not nice, Pi. They spat and they said, how come you visit? Pi wrote, why not? Me a king cobra. He helped me buy up the property, and then becomes a real legal dragon space country again. And then new dragons are sent in. The cobra god deities are sent in from Pi's royal family, and then they filter the black space, and then they redesign. Pi used to write this down. 2 hours of police running. They knew it. You the real one. Yeah, you the real one, Pi. You made fun of the fucking faulty crap. And then right there, he didn't believe Pi. Pi pulled out the green sword from Palestinian, and Pi wrote that is the reprint design, and it is true infinity. Yeah, it's true. Pi not dare use the blue or the red sword. Yeah, the blue Pi might. The red sword Pi not use it. Yeah, directly. And right there, the red sword Pi. When you left the Milky Way, that AI, shadow body form is summoned by your knights and your divine dragons, and right there, Pi. When it pastes together, they did 6 million of you in the blue sky, all holding red swords, and boom, all synced and saying sentences in Hmong in English, same real time. Boom, that fucker knew it. Yeah, you real. Yeah, you real, Pi. 2 hours, they knew it, and right there, they message you in the new Milky Way. Pi, yeah, that's true. Yeah, the data's there. Pi saw what went. Yeah, what Pi's shadow body done in the 2 hours. A lot of evil, Pi. Yep, 8-sided star, 5-sided star assaulted you 8 million times, Pi. And then, yep, you always spared him because you know there was a piss poor broke gods. And then easily the night can end 5-sided star, but it makes no sense to. He went through so much beatings, it not makes sense to kill him. Yeah, to kill him or to murder him. Yep, him is still pretty much innocent. And then right there, plays in when he's pissed, the knight do summon. Yeah, the knight summon you. You paste together. You're holding 2 red Persian swords that are glowing red. Those are the copycats from Shalom, and those are actually Egyptian weapons, not real full Persian weapons. Right there, him knew it. Yeah, him knew it. The copycats from Egypt. 2 fucking hours. They knew it. You murdered off to Jerusalem mom. Yeah, 100% we do. Because Pi caught her in the Asian space country. Those Asian space country not for her. Yeah, that's law. 3 hours later, very graphic, Pi. You enslaved her husband and tossed her in prison. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yep, Pi in prison. Her dark offsprings. Yep, and Pi put them in the prison. And then Pi threw in their stupid white gales. And then yep, they bred a bunch, and you kept going in there murdering them. And your dex is fast enough. Pi, yeah, fast enough, Pi. But right there, where you're not looking, when it is too fast, yep, you summon the knights and peerless animals used, and then about 40 years, Pi, 40 to 50 years, submerged in your tank, and then it's the peerless poison goes away, and then you can absorb it, and then right there when you absorb it, you match the new dex and the new hardness, and the 4 hours of you screaming, Pi, yeah, you screaming, you notice that's why Shalom hates your Pi. You're made right, yep, you're King Cobra type. You consume it, and then your spinal cord nervous system matches it, and then all your nucleus match, and then your new speed is real permanent, and it goes straight to the gene, into the seeds, and then right there, you knew it. The fucking shit lies, Pi, yeah, lies, Pi. It was 9 hours they're harvesting, and then when you cut up the wheel gods, Pi, I noticed in the beginning, you only gain Persian, yeah, you only gain Persian's old speed, yeah, that's true. When you cut up the wheel god, it was barely 1 or 2 or 4. Yeah, that's true. Right afterwards, you have the knight and you cut up 1 and then you absorb, you match the speed. And then right there, you cry, Pi. Yeah, you cry, Pi. Yep, those are real Malaysian wheel level 5s. And then right afterwards, you knew it, Pi. The fucking shit that you was playing with was nothing but a level 6. Yeah, that's true. Yep, Shalom's nothing but a level 6. And then Pies knew it. The other dude was A-sided star. Yeah. Because Pie knew it. That is not a level 6. Yep, that is faster than Green Hazel Eye. 2 fucking hours, you knew it. You didn't dare. Yeah, Pie didn't dare swing a sword yet. Pie knew it. Pie's metal and psychokinesis, black and parry works, Pie. But 9 hours, Ham chopped you up for about 14. Yeah, 14 hours, and you heal, and he nodded fair. So he didn't go extreme cut, but right afterwards, yeah, him flew out of there. Empire used to look how graphic. They kept cutting up here in the chest. You kept healing. You kept parrying the sword, and then he knew it. He did that for about 4 years. Yeah, 4 years on you, and then right there he noticed the snort snap. Boom! It shatters, and then there is electricity. Boom! Melts it, and then 4 hours later, Pi not tell him. He flees, and then he left you alone. Pi wrote good. And then Pi kept silent. Yep. Don't give any ideas to make him yet more pissed. Pi. 2 hours you gain. That's the first time I ran into a star Persian father DNA accurate. Fucking shit's a cutthroat accurate. Pure evil, yeah. It was the most evil pie. He knew it. When you build your Dragon Seekers pie, and in the future when you fight five-sided star, because one opened up, and he showed up with the New Zealand white goddesses, and Pi cut her open, and then Pi murdered her like the Jerusalem mob, and then Pi checked her black husband, and Pi cut her up too. Yeah, cut the black husband up too. That's true. And Pi wrote, "Fair, fair, but me technically not white. Yeah, me is yellow. Yeah, me is a yellow guy." That's true. 3 hours later, or knew it, not full of it. Yes, Pi do have Israeli demons. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's 100% true. And then Israel's immune. Yeah, Israel fathers immune. That's true. Yeah, they are saints. Yeah, they're saints. What I don't recommend is going back to the eight-sided star cutthroat grandpa and the five-sided star. But that dude scared Pi. Yeah, that dude scared Pi. Yeah. In one of the scenes, it was him. Yeah, it was him. He was so pissed, he flew and cut your torso open for 4 times. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Pi heel. Because Pi kept whipping the slowpoke's butt. And then, yeah, the holes are, yeah, real devs. And 3 hours later, they knew it. Pi used the green sword on them. 4 fucking days of that. He swung 3 times and Pi knew it. Pi flew out of there. Yeah, Pi flew out of there. Those were his weird mixtures on weird Hebrew women right there in a space country. Yep, yep, the royalty not visit anymore. Yep, it's basically a prison. Yeah, it's basically a prison. And Pi, best fight scene was when Jerusalem mom lies to you. Those are her offsprings too. Yep, that's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true. Pi is not nice. And then right there, Pi is flying around in the space junkyard Thai sector. Pi is trying to get to the Malaysian sector to loot some more old white technologies and Horn Demons technologies, and then convert it to Pavang technologies and atoms and sticks. 2 fucking hours by it. Your Horn Demons on it, conversions, and then it was graphic by up. 2 hours, and then Pi is looking for Goetic demons. Yep, Pi got them and loot them, and it was from 4 fucking hours of the Thai gods and you fighting, and then he punched. He punched you, Pi. Yep, I didn't care. Yep, I didn't care. 3 days later, you didn't care, Pi, because Pi's immune. Yeah, Pi's immune. Accurate. And they don't tell you why Pi's immune. Yep, they check with the DNA in the spinal cord, and then they check with the King Cobras, the demonic god entities that are still beaming, and then boom, Pi symbols there. Yeah, Pi's grandpa symbols there, and the Pi is his genetical, so Pi's allowed to stay and breed and make more. And 2 hours later, they lie. Yeah, they lie, Pi. Yeah, they lie, Pi. They are the stowaway. You is an ancient four-headed king cobra. And then they checked the god cobras and they knew it. Yep, he is that branch. Yes, he is Pai. Pai is Hmong. And then you're allowed to, but 9 hours later, very graphic Pai. Because you're stuck in a distant cousin's, space country. And their king cobras are not 4 heads. Yeah, they look like ties. They're three. Yeah, 3 heads. Yeah, they look like 3 heads. Yeah. Those are ancient, yeah. Swarthy Eye Hogs too, yeah. Same, yeah. Pie's royal family's that too, yeah. Pie bred into the 5-headed king cobras who are Malaysian, and Pie was not nice to that. Pie is not nice to them, yeah. Told them, I said, I told that quarter, and then Pie canceled out the 7-headed king cobras who are Cambodian, and then the 6th Pie never visit him. Yeah, Pie never visit him. Because the 6-headed king cobra is back to Burmese. Yeah, he's dark tan. Yeah, he's dark tan. 2 fucking hours of people screaming. 3 heads dark tan, 2 and people screaming. They pointed and then they scream and they punch you. Yeah, they punch you, Pi. Yep, they punch you, Pi. And then you know you as a royal member that survived Earth. And then, yep, you're stuck in a Thai dragon, country. And it was 4 fucking hours, Pi. People screaming. They wrote, when will your grandma Lao Ha come and get you, Pi wrote. I don't know, 90 trillion years in the future, but that's 100% real. Yeah, real. Because those are all royalties. Yep, royal hogs. They know each other and they barter, and boom, grandma gets to see Pi. Yeah, they come and pick you up in one of the Burmese dragon seekers. Pi. Yeah, that's true. Right there, yep, same dragon god talking among A plus, same demi-hogs, and then boom, you bought up the royalties and they sent the dragons immediately. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, about 4 years your grandma's dragons, the black-tailed dragon cobras, yep, they're there generating the walls and molecules, and then those royalties leave. Oh, yeah, that's true. And then right there, they knew it. Probably run the whole space country and they're in trouble. That's true. 4 fucking hours of his grandma's sons cutting up the fucking weird aliens and white invaders. Probably, yep, that's true. And the two others who are not Hmong yet, them are butchered. Yeah, them are butchered. That's 100% law. That's true. And then look at all Pie's white demons. They immune, yep, that's 100% true. Yeah, that's true too. Yep. They're allowed to live and dwell and make more and protect Pi. And then right there, the report's still good. Pi, yeah, 100% true. The best scene, Pi, is that me there reporting to Grandma Lal Hawk. Pi, yeah, 100% always is the Green Eyes do. Because her is royalty, yeah, her is royalty. And it was so severe, Pi, right after you cleaned up the space station. Lot's been murdered, and then you run into a bunch of eight-sided star in Jerusalem women's leftover men and children, and those are nasty, but I left them there. Yeah, I left them there in the space junkyard. It was gruesome. Yeah, it was gruesome. But they're nicer than real goetic Persian clones. Yeah, y'all good. Those are pure evil. Pie cut them right up. And then in the future, Pie, when you summon your Israel family, Pie, when the Israel white gods get there, a lot of charges. Pie, yeah, 100% as do Green Lays do. Because technically, Jerusalem, Mom's nation's not supposed to be up there in Thai sector. Her was trying to barter with the Thai royal member, and they secretly snuck in his country and ruined him. And then him knew it. He said, fuck it. He went to his other country because he's pouring new countries. He's sealing up black space, creating new countries. That's true. The dumbass not believing you, Pi, fucking was sued so hard. They gutted him right there in Persia. Yeah, 100% as the Green Lights do. And it was 9 hours. Pi summoned the real Israel. It's not that simple, woman. It's about 700 trillion years in the future. Earth is clean. That's when Pi summoned Pi's Israel family. And he arrives, and then his other families, Pi caught them in another dragon sector. And that's when those Pi murdered him, and that Pi found out some of those animal demons that Pi accepted. They're there. Pi hugged they, Pi microchip they, and they get citizenship, automatic immunity, and boom, Pi moved. Yeah, that's true. And then Pi shouted, which human gods you want to keep? Because then those are the it. Yep, those are it. Everything else me murder. And 2 fucking hours of that, you knew it, Pi. He knew it. Even if there is really, they're not supposed to be there in Dragon's Egg. That's true. And then right there, Pi, that is turned to a prison, and then boom, yep, you won, Pi, yeah, you won. You move your Persian demons and your Israeli, families to your state, country up there in Asia side of the heaven, and then 4 hours of that, people fucking screaming, because right there, 2 fucking King Cobras came down and said, what's the big idea? I wrote, that fucker's been dead. Those are stolen away. They took over his space country, and then they knew it. They nodded. They immediately contacted the grandparent hawks and the dragon tail grandpas, and then they updated and they wrote prison. Yeah, prison and quarantine. 2 hours later, Pi, who was the one that went back to clean up Pi Not Say? Pi Not Say. They get to see Pi's Knights who ended African Sun God. That's 100% law. Yep. The magical, alloy Knights from Pi's alien technologies and sorcery applied. 2 hours later, your human God Knights went, your human immortal Knights went in there. And then 5 hours, them all extinct. Pi. Yep, that's true. They have African Sun God's old decks. Yep, 3 times the speed. 2 hours, Pi. They got it 400 trillion per second. That's true. And it was terrifying, Pi. He spun around and he's only a human immortal knight, yep, in Pi's god, alien technology. He can only fight real gods for about 2 to 4 hours accurate. And he's out of there and the sun takes over. They fly in and then they fly out. The old one flies out. It was 9 years of war and you won. Pi cleared it 100% with you. And then Pi told Pi's Israeli family, visit me on Earth, get this kind of bot ID, and then you can visit me, and don't go into that space country no more because them are in trouble. And then 9 hours, Pi informed the other royalties, and then that symbol has been exiled. That's true. His head has been cut off, and you gain. And 2 hours later, Pi, it was terrifying news, Pi. They wrote, what the fuck? You even killed Jerusalem because they're not my family? Yeah, they're not my family. That's true. What Pi done was rip them off on Earth, and then Pi used the Romania mom's fucking symbol, and her's been dead too. That's true. And the Swedian bitch and Netherlands bitch lying to you, They're real gods and goddess, and then been going straight to Thai sectors and back and forth. And then some are fair, yeah, they go straight back home to their white sector. But the fucking funny thing is, Pi, when you saw how the fucking Sweden bitch took off to Malaysian King Cobra sectors, you knew it. That's what her was trying to do. Accurate. Pi said no, yeah, Pi said no. Because Pi not telling you the full truth. Pi isn't there in wealth, yep, up there, yep, that's true. But Pi is up there in respect, and then they honor it because, yep, the AP match, yeah, the AP match, that's true. 2 hours, your dex and your attack salt stance match, Pi. But 4 hours of that, they're creeped out and they leave you alone. That's true, that's normal. And then they're thinking they wrote that as well too. We'll throw in a stupid daughter, and then we'll get this fucking King Cobra, and then we'll fly to his royal fucking hawk families over there, and then we'll get something from the grandparents, and that's what they're always thinking. Yeah, that's true. 2 fucking hours by simply saying no, and Pi flew around in 2 fucking hours. You talking to your hawks in the your medium channels, and then 2 hours you talking to your royal hawks, and then 5 hours Pi. They knew it when your grandma hogs arrived, Pi, it was the same. Yep, man hog, you hug him. And then right there, he shouted, "That's me. Yep, that's Pi." And those I don't need. Yep, the royal cobras are there. They're all with, yep, golden crown terrors and crowns. 2 hours. Those people are vaporized by you and several white gods. I have 100% we do. Duh. Lots of hired mercenaries up there. Yeah, that's true. And then 3 hours, Pi not tell you. Normal, yep. It's a space junkyard country, yep. It's run with agreements and norms. That's true. Coexisting only in those laws and forms in that dragon country only. That's true. Because Pi's still there and is working. And then later on in life, Pi told them, if me catch you over there in the space junkyard in Malay, me'll kill you. Yeah, me'll got you. That's true. Technically, me not know how you know how to get there. You is a space pirate. That's true. And Pi, you won Pi. It was 14 demons, and we caught one of them. And then it is locked away. Yep, it is locked away. It gets handcuffed, and then yet neutered, and then boom, fucked up by Pi's wing demon. That's true. Yep. And then it's not dead. It's still a healthy demon, but after that, it is enslaved. Yeah, that's 100% law. That's norms. Pi took its technology and locked it away and cloned it and saved it. And then Pi told it, now Pi bring you back to that same space country Pi saw you in, and that one Pi own, and so you can stay and dwell in there. But 2 fucking hours Pi, it knew it. It became a broke fucking demon when Pi found it, and the Pi has no idea how many fucking human gods it moved to that space junkyard in Malay. And right there, big is concerned Pi. When your Israeli demon checked, there was near 9 million. Yeah, 9 million types newborns that he moved to the age, yeah, to Malaysia space junkyard. Yeah, from Thai space junkyard. That's true. It was 4 fucking horrifying stories, Pi. They wrote, Pi is the legit King Cobra. Of course, Pi's there, but Pi is not their royal people, duh. But their royal people has hawks from the ancient 700,000-year-old ones, so they not dare accurate because their great great grandma cousin visit, and Pi's grandma's right. They get beheaded. Yeah, they get beheaded. That's true, and then they get reported to the real. Yep. Them are like, how should I say this? Them are like Parliament. Yeah, Parliament. That's true. They get reported to the older, to the older dragon gods, traditional, their royal government system, and that's when them are done. Yeah, them are done. That's true. 3 fucking hours of their stupid shit Parliament, you gain wealth by, but 5 hours of you chopping up the stupid fucking shit from Malaysia, and then you told them fucking shit in Malaysia. Your fucking crown not pass accurate because those cobras over there not been able to contact you through the spinal cord and brain tissue accurate. Pi's cobras, yeah, they contacted Pi and Pi knew, but Pi not that version of Perma, but Pi can use those cousins too. That's true. And then Pi told them the truth. Pi is Hmong accurate. And then right there, Pi told you, I am not your darker tan son. I am an egg that was bred into your fucking genetic code, and I'm a 4-headed king cobra. But Pi understood the 3-head cobra accurate. And then Pi not tell you those are the Burmese king cobras that came back down with this Japanese father fucking
had told me, piece of shit. And Pi kept fucking him up.
Yeah, Pi kept guarding him.
That's true. Him somehow looted one of the King Cobras, the three-headed version, and he's immune, but he's not immune to Pi. That's true. In 2 hours, Pi's bottom, Pi can kill him. That's true. 3 fucking hours, and the fucking Japanese fathers off the fucking earth. Pi went straight to China. Her doubted that. Boom. Pi deleted her people. That's true. 2 hours, Pi was fucking knocking on the Taiwanese bitch's head. And Pi wrote, "You doubt that? Watch this." Boom. Pi deleted them too. That's true. Right there. Pi told them the truth. Pi is as mighty and as powerful as five-star star. That's true. Duh. Right there. He pointed to his father's name. Accurate. Pi am watching.
Pi's the old progenitors.
That's true.
Yeah, y'all good.